All right, let's get this started. I'm just going to leave that angle where it is. Hello. This is going to be my video trying to do a 101 general education as well as practice tips and stuff for drumming at festival. And it seems as though Cookie is going to help me with this. Hello. Chiefly, first and foremost, etiquette for drumming and stuff is you don't want anything on your hands or wrists. So you'll notice I'll take off my bracers whenever I do this stuff. You don't want any rings on. You don't want any bracelets on or anything like that. That's going to get in the way. Mainly because it'll damage the drum, or it'll damage the accessory itself, or it'll damage your fingers or wrists. So you're going to get very scared when I get started drumming. I hope you know that. But yeah, that's just as far as etiquette goes. But it's kind of the 101, like you'll damage your equipment, you'll damage your accessories, and you'll damage yourself. So just take them all off. You want bare arms and bare hands for this. The few different types of drums you might see out at festival are, you've got these guys with, you'll see like the rivets, like this. Or you will see the ones that are more classically wrapped like this. These are called djembes. And those are the types of, the bigger, bassier kind of boom stuff you have out there. But you'll also see these smaller kinds that are not djembes. I don't remember exactly what the name of them is, but I know it's Egyptian. The people at festival call them doomtechs. That is not the right name for them, but as long as people say the word and others understand what it is, who cares what they're called? But they're not doomtechs. I'll look it up and I'll tell you later. I'll put it in the description or something below this, or in the comments or whatever. But this would be the drum that I use to teach because it's the crispest sound I have. So as far as 101 basics stuff, find a spot or find a way to hold this that is comfortable for you. A lot of people will do it just vertically up and down, where they have full access of the whole thing with both hands. I recommend having it at an angle. I will usually wrap a leg over it, or I make sure that the escape or the hole or the whatever it's technically called is just completely open where nothing is blocking it. And I've got a little bit of an angle so that actually I'm going to try and figure out a way that I can hold this where the camera sees it as well. Give it some sort of weird angle. There we go. So that you can see my hands while I'm doing this. I'm going to need to give it a weirder angle than that. All right, here we go. We'll do it live. We're doing it on the fly. There we go. I usually recommend an angle like this where you have the center, where you have a hand here. That also gets drawn back. And then this hand pretty much just only stays on the edge. Whether you're doing it with a larger djembe or a smaller, I'll just call it a doomtech because that's what everybody calls it at festival, even though that's not the right name for it. But that being said, going over the angles for this, because I can't properly get it on the screen, so I'll just show it like this. Your dominant hand, which for me is my right hand, even though I might reverse this video mirror-wise to make the practice section easier to follow. So my right hand, which is my dominant hand here, that'll stay in the middle, or sometimes you can bring it to the edge, and it usually stays on that plane of either being in the middle there or on the edge over here, while your non-dominant hand typically just stays on the edge. As far as playing it is concerned, ignoring flourishes or ways to make it look fancy, or as you get practice with this, you'll develop your own style, and take everything I say as like the basics, where as you develop your own style and become more comfortable with it, alter your playing style to match that. Not everybody's going to do it the same way, nor should they do it all the same way. You develop your own play style as you practice with this stuff. But as far as the 101 goes, the way to hit the drum, you'll see people who don't know what they're doing just kind of do it like this, where it's just kind of flat palm. The way you're going to want to do it to make the biggest sound is by cupping your hand. you know, the same sort of way you would waft a scent. You kind of cup your hand and hit the center of the drum with it. Where if I'm going to do this at a parallel or a perpendicular angle, it's just a direct line out and then back in. There's no weird angle at this. It's just out and back in. Where if I'm holding the drum, that looks like this. Notice at the weird angle that the drum is at, my hand goes along a parallel line, just straight up and down. And whether or not I'm playing in the center of the drum or over on the edge, it's just very out and back, just out, back in. So that's hitting it on the outside of the drum. When you're hitting it on more of the edge, you're not using that cut method. You're kind of hitting the rim with your knuckle, your second knuckle right there. You're kind of hitting the rim with that. And then the momentum just carries the tip of your fingers forward to hit the drum. So your target is less hitting the head of the drum, and your knuckles are kind of hitting the edge. That's why I usually like playing this kind more instead of a larger djembe, because depending on if you have a riveted head or a woven knotted head, that can start to hurt really bad very quickly if you're playing it right. So either play it that way for a long time and develop calluses, or deal with the pain, or get a drum with a nicer edge like this one. So angle back and forth, head, you're just kind of aiming with your knuckles, where your fingertips are hitting the head of the drum, and you're not like targeting that. You're targeting the edge and just letting your fingers carry it on. Don't think too hard about it, then it gets very robotic, and that doesn't make for a good sound, in my opinion. So don't think too much about it. Think about the note that you're striking. Don't think about how everything, don't like overanalyze what you're doing. So inside, outside, and then very similar to that outside hit is how you hit it with your non-dominant hand as well. You're kind of doing the same thing where you're hitting the edge with your knuckle or the flat between the knuckles. That kind of makes that pop sound. So as far as that goes, let me try and get that angle again where you can see what I'm doing with this. Most everything that you'll be doing out there is just in 4/4. So as long as you can just go 1, 2, 3, 4. Everything just kind of fills in between with other notes with your dominant and non-dominant hand kind of fill in there. So from there, I guess we should go over just a few beats. The three main ones that I've experienced out at festival, I am terrible with the names of these beats, so I hope I get them right. If not, oh well. Jungle, which goes, the fast version is... let me see. No, that wasn't it. No, that was it. That was it. Which I should do this at an angle where you can see what I'm doing. And I'm playing directly into the floor, so it's not going to make the best sound. But the point of this is you get to see what I'm doing. So this isn't usually the angle I would play at, but for the purposes of the video, seeing the head, this is what we'll go with. And when I do those three hits, that's a spot for you to fill in whatever you want to do, or if you're doing a round, one person will do a solo, then the next time it goes, the next person will do a solo, and so on and so forth. Or everybody can just be chaotic, and it'll all work out in the end. Who cares? But Jungle, if I'm going to slow that down, is going to look like this. And I'm going to play this I'll watch the clock here. I'll do this from 30 seconds to a minute. And I'm not going to do the fill part. I'm just going to keep the chorus, if you will, rolling. So you can play along with me, like rewind the video and play it along with me. And I'm going to try and flip the video so you can mirror exactly what I'm doing to play it the best as possible. So let me try my best to get a good angle. There we go. So dominant hand, non-dominant hand. And I'm gonna start slowly, and then I'm gonna start with a slow version, and then I'm gonna do a real time, and then I'll do a fast. So that was a slow one. I did forget to mention, usually you do 3 of the repeats of the like chorus beat. You do 3 rounds of that, and then it's a round of solo, and then just go in and then rinse and repeat. 3 chorus, 1 solo, 3 chorus, 1 solo, and just do that indefinitely. So, real time. And then a little bit faster for just practice sake. And again, I'm playing right into the floor, so it sounds terrible, but you can see what I'm doing, and that's what's important. Why not? All right. The other one that I don't know the name of, but is probably the most used out there. I just call it Parade Beat. I know it's got a name. I don't use the name. I just call it Parade Beat because it's the one we use for Parade. It's also the one that we used to use for... Gosh, it was either polka or Darbuka or something like that, but I need to not adjust so that you can see what I'm doing. Okay. This one's a little bit more complicated. And you'll notice there I did 2 different things. I did a very basic one without all of the hits, and then I did a little bit more hits on a variation of that. So the simpler version was the... And then there's a little bit more of a fill-in where that gap isn't there. Where it's just you add a little in the center of it. I guess at the end, not the center, sorry. And then real time, and by real time, I mean this is the speed that I usually go at for a parade. one thing I didn't mention was accents, which is, I don't know why I was going to do finger quotations there. That's exactly what it's called. Accents is when instead of like just doing that consistently, there's some times where you really make it pop. And as far as the methodology on how to do that, you just put a little bit more oomph into it. Put a little bit more wrist into it. So just a little bit more oomph. So there's nothing like technically different you do with that. Just get a little bit more oomph. But just like jungle with that one, you do 3 chorus beats and then a solo. So just the beat 1, 2, 3 is my basic version of somebody filling in a solo. So I'll do a little bit of that here as well. I'll do some of the parade beat with solo beats so that you can practice solos if you'd like to. So you can kind of get the timing of that down if you would like to include solos, or if you don't want to include solos, just use it as extra practice. Another thing I didn't mention that I don't expect, if you're watching this, I'm assuming you're a beginner. One thing I don't expect you to do, you might notice me dip my middle finger into the drum. That's for a muting purpose. That's a little bit more of an advanced technique. But since I'm doing it while I'm drumming, I may as well explain what it is. It's to mute the drum to make just the sound better for the pops. It really accents the accent notes. It just gives it a better pop and musicality to it, in my opinion, but I don't expect that from, I don't expect anything. I wouldn't think a beginner would be so inclined as to include that, but if you would like to, by all means, give it your best shot. The third and final beat that I'm going to be going over in this video, I believe originated from the whole Soulfire stuff that Festival used to do. They call it IU or something like that. Again, I'm terrible with the names. I don't know the names. But this one is perhaps the easiest, just definitely because it's got that 4/4 mentality, like really grained into it. It's just 4/4 the whole time. When I say 4/4, that's a musical term if you don't know what that is. It's a time signature. It's got the 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That was not it at all. That was a different one. You see, that's just got you're keeping the metronome with that 4/4 there. You're keeping the metronome. Nope. That one has less of, where the other two had like 3 chorus and then a solo. That one doesn't. You can just kind of throw them in whenever you want to if you're so inclined. But it doesn't necessarily have them built into the beat like the other ones do. That one's just. That's just indefinitely. So just like the other ones, I'll do a slow. I didn't really do a fast version of the parade one. I guess I'll do that toward the end. But I'll do a slow pace, performance pace, and then a fast pace. performance pace. And then fast pace. If your hand starts hurting, good, you're working it out. Mine's hurting right now too. I'm getting a little sore because I'm working it out. This one, not so much. This one's getting a little crampy because I'm doing the cup thing. So if you're not cramping at this point, you should be. Just 4/4. And then a little faster, I suppose. A few things I didn't mention are face, first of all. At festival, you get a lot of pictures taken of you, and while you're focusing very hard on drumming, you forget to smile. So that's another thing that's a big challenge with a lot of drummers, beginning, intermediate, and experienced, is that while you're drumming, look like you're having fun. Look like you're having fun. Can't tell you how many pictures have been taken of me where I just look like I am just zoning out while I'm drumming, because I kind of am. But look like you're having fun. Put a smile on your face. We should do fast parade beat and then solos, and then that should be it. Okay. So I'll do 2 and 1. I'll do a faster parade beat. No, I'm not gonna do 2 and 1 because solos have to be taken at a slower pace. Okay. All right, at least gives you a little bit of tempo differences to practice with. Honestly, if you just get it to performance, should be good from that. Solos are essentially any 4/4 beat that can, or it doesn't have to be 4/4, but any beat that can fill those 4 bars of space where I would usually in the other 2 beats go. Anything that can fill that space is perfect. Sometimes, you know what, I'll just give you a few examples. I'll do parade beat, and I'll fill in with some examples. Last one's probably the most common for beginners. Or honestly, if you just want to do... No one's going to fault you for a 4/4 beat. But yeah, that's pretty much all there is to it. Any other questions, please put them in the comments below. And I can absolutely help you out with that. Oh! You know what? I was going to teach you how to do the wrap thing, but honestly, I could just link the video that I learned it from. And by the wrap thing, I mean a way to tie a strap so where, you know, my paint is in the way. That's what I'm holding my camera up with. I'll put in the description a link to the video that I learned how to do the wrap thing from, so that way I don't have to, you know, reinvent the wheel. But yeah, that's pretty much all there is to it. If you have any questions, let me know. And yeah, that's about it. Good luck. Practice well. I'll see you out there.